Hey garden friends, welcome to Flower Patch. Today I'm going to take you on the Rose Cottage Garden tour for the second week of July. I'm getting behind, but I'm going to continue with these weekly updates so you can see how much it changes, and feel free to go back and look through all of the videos. I started in May. I think I did one in April. It's snowing. That's how it is around here. But anyways, let's get going and do our Rose Cottage Garden tour for the second week of July. I've already filmed for the third week of July, and I got to get that edited too. But I got a lot of things coming up, so come on along and enjoy seeing all the gorgeous flowers that are blooming today. Well, this is a view of the Rose Cottage Garden. This is the tour for the second week of July. This is the beginning of the second week. And I'm going to do this. It's almost 2:30, so you may see some, see bright light over there. We get shade on this part of the garden because of these trees, but I will lose it in a moment. So I'm going to go through this garden and give you the tour. Now, my trumpet vine is doing gorgeous, just gorgeous. And my plan to turn it into a standard or a tree is working. Now, a lot of people cringe when they see me growing trumpet vine, but I keep it in a container, so it won't run on me. And my test rose up here, it was supposed to stay on this arbor or obelisk, and yeah, it's going up here. Now this clematis has never done well, so I think I'm going to need to move it out of this container. It would be growing fine, and all of a sudden it does that. So it doesn't like it there. I'm going to move it come fall and see how it does in another area. That one is Sugar Sweet Lilac, and I planted it. I'll link the video where I planted these roses and clematis in these barrels. I did one on each side. You can see I've got some mulch that we picked up, one on each side of this walkway. And I have been working out here. Yep, it's during the heat wave. It's nearly 100, but I'm in the shade, so I'm okay. And I wet myself down. That sounded funny. I spray myself down with water, and yeah, then it makes it bearable, and I stay cool. It's kind of like running through the sprinklers as a kid. It works the same. So let's go down the outside edge, as we usually do, and then I'll just take a quick peek at the back lane garden, and then we'll come back and we'll go down Rose Alley. So, yes, everything is looking a little droopy because of the heat, but they have been well watered, so they actually are fine. This is my Darcy Bucelle rose. I'm sorry, this is my Bosco Bell. I have a truck coming. I don't know if it's going to come up. No, it's turning. So, yeah, the only thing with doing this in the afternoon rather than early morning is we get more traffic, but that's okay. This is a neighborhood. And right now, a lot of vacationers are up to enjoy the holiday weekend, so it's busier than usual. Now, all of the daisies in this bed, and this whole garden, are from seed, and they either reseeded themselves or ones that I grew and put in. And I do love the crazy daisies, and you can get them at different places like Park Seed or Burpee or whatever. Now you see I need to deadhead those roses. If I was still getting direct hot sun, I think these would fry crisp. Some roses are very hardy in hot sun and others aren't. And I have a feeling this one would not do well unless it got this shade. So when they take those trees down, that is shading, I may have to change things up a little bit, but that's okay. Gardens are always in transition. Look at this crazy daisy. Of course, it's getting some loving from the bee. I just love these. Isn't that beautiful? Every one is different. Now, I showed you in my entrance garden the one that has short, stubby petals, and they're all fluffy. So here I was trying to prop up this poppy with the crossed sticks. It's not working for me, so I'll do something a little bit different. Now this hollyhock coming up, it does have the rust. That doesn't bother me. I just pull up the leaves. I think this is one of my peaches and dreams. It's the real fluffy one. And this delphinium, you can see it's blooming upwards. I had to tie it up to that. It was falling over and now it's leaning into it, but that's okay. And the blue one, let me see, where's the blue one? Down in there, I wanted to let it reseed and see if it will. I'm supposed to get some turkey compost from an organic turkey farm this next week, and I'll put it down around the base, and if it drops seeds, then I might get it to reseed on its own. The tiny monster, I had propped these up, and then I thought, phooey, just let them fall down, ground cover, they choke out weeds, some of them, and it's fine. They look gorgeous, they keep blooming. Now over on this edge of this bed, it doesn't get any irrigation. The pipe is further in there. Now here's my crocosmia. See, this one will need to be staked up, and I'll go get one of my half tomato cages. I cut them in half, and they're kind of a half circle, and I stick it in the ground, and that works perfect as a support. My nearly wild rose down in there, it gets obscured. I had almost transplanted it, and then I changed my mind. I think I will go ahead and transplant it this next fall, early winter. We don't get so freezing cold that it really hurts them for me to do it in winter. The ground never really freezes hard, deeply, so yeah, I'm zone 8B, and though we get snowy, cold winters, the snow actually does insulate the ground. So this yarrow, I'm carrying this pot around. I should drop it so I can use my hand. You see that one? I think this was Crimson Queen. I'll have to look it up. And yeah, doing beautiful. It's leaning over. Things tend to reach for the sun, but see, I have a little bit of a cage here. Can you see it? It really becomes obscured and just kind of blends into the background. So I will tie that up to that. That is helping to support these delphiniums that are getting ready to bloom. You can hear the blue jay. He's squawking at me because if you look up there, I put the birdseed in a cage because they were being bullies, and the little songbirds weren't able to get in there. Look at my quick fire fab. This one I got as a tiny plant. This is a Proven Winners hydrangea. I lost one. I think the gophers ate it, but this one is doing great. It's even blooming. Now that's why I bought the quick fire fab, was because it blooms sooner than all the others. The others don't bloom for me until very late. So I wanted one that bloomed earlier, and this is it, and I'm loving it. So I have another one in the secret cottage garden, and yep, I'm pleased, very pleased. Now many of these daisies, they seeded themselves, and they do just great. They do give me a little bit of a rebloom if I deadhead, but not great. So when they're done, I basically chop them back after that little brief rebloom, and then whatever else is blooming in the garden takes the show. And the rose campion, doesn't that just glow? This is also a self-seeder. I let it go where it wants, and I just pull it up. Super easy to pull up. Pull up what I don't want. Now this, look at this. Black-eyed Susan growing right out of the ground. Crazy. And that's blacktop. So my pear tree, I don't ever get pears. We get late freezes that always zap the buds, so I never get pears. So this leaning tree is basically for a little bit of shade over here. More self-seeded daisies. Rose campion, doing beautiful. Look at these. These are hollyhocks that I just let do their thing. Look at that color pink. Isn't that gorgeous? I had some, and maybe these are it. They were just a shell color pink and just gorgeous. I love them and hope they come back. So whatever hollyhocks out here that rebloom or come back, reseed, they get to grow. And so these, as again, that area is not irrigated. So this is the back lane garden. Now, I haven't really started working on it. It's just here and that. Look at this crazy daisy. I'm definitely going to collect the seeds from this one, and I'll let some reseed here, and then I will also collect seeds to spread elsewhere. So some roses back here. Oh, this one, did the bug get this one? Oh, yep, there, it was a borer of some kind. See, they zapped the cane. I don't know if it's focusing for you, because I can't see in the screen. And then it probably laid an egg in there, so I'll have to come with my clippers and prune that off. But so you have one irrigation hose back here that's irrigating these, but they don't get a lot. And they just have to take what they get. Now look at this, Scepter July Rose. Isn't this thing, it's just loaded. I mean, absolutely loaded. And this is what they look like. You see how it has the center? Maybe I should do over here. Aren't those beautiful? And it's usually well scented. Let me lean down and sniff it. Oh yeah, beautiful. I had this in a barrel on my back deck for the longest time. And I stuck it out here because I needed to get it in the ground. It wasn't doing well, and I didn't have anywhere in my garden to plant it. And it took. And I mean, this back hillside is so neglected. I usually only weed eat it. In fact, there's a portion down there that still needs weed eating. But yeah, so I decided that anything I need to take out of my gardens because they're not working well, or they're too big for it, or whatever, or if I find a rose that's not really pleasing me, I'm sticking it back here. And this is just going to be a free-for-all back here. But as you see, the roses I stuck back here and let them just do their own thing, they're doing great now. So, yeah, it all works. Okay, let us go back up and we will go down the rose alley. I am going to put on here, in this, I'm going to give you a clip to view of how this started at the very beginning. You will be amazed at how far it's come in the past year, 2 years. I'd have to look at the date on that video. But yeah. Yeah. So this is my Madame Alfred Carriere. It's supposed to do well in the shade. This is really getting its first year going here. So I'm giving it grace. Also, I'm not sure how frequent of a rebloomer it is. I had a few blooms, but it's just getting established. And sometimes things take a little while to get established. Okay, this is my new Dawn. I do need to come in and deadhead. Like I said, the Bosco Bell is just really doing well. I just love that rose. Now the other one is my Tammy Rose. You see it's putting on a new bed in there? A new bud, not bed. Yeah, and it is the one I started from cuttings. I think I'm going to take it out. I stuck it in here just because I wanted to get it somewhere. And I will put the other Bosco Bell in with this one, and that one is right in that pot up there. So I want to keep it with this one. So I'll plant the other rose into something else. So here in my path, you can see right in the center, all of the mini clover is doing okay. So I thought, well, first of all, I need to rake. It's thicker, the bark that's left is thicker on the sides. I'm going to take not a spring rake, but you know, the hard rakes, rake the bark up. And then I'm also going to reseed or seed it with some grass seed. So they will grow together, and this will be a green path. I just think that'll add such a lush touch. It's just a small area. This gets some shade, so it won't use too much water. And having a green base like that really brings a cooling element, and I mean in temperature, not just in look. So we all want to cool our gardens down. I know a lot of people say that lawns are thirsty and they use up too much water, but done judiciously, sorry for my slur, that you can do it. And you can have the cooling of it offsets the other. So that's my theory, and I'm going with it. I've been reading a lot on it, and you can keep a lawn, especially if you get drought-tolerant grasses. And the mini clover is very tolerant, drought-tolerant, and dry-tolerant. And so even if the grass should fade away, this would take over. But I want something through here that is green. So that's my idea for this area. So over here, I was clearing out some of the iris and what have you. This step back here is my Limelight Prime hydrangea, and it seems to be doing okay. Yeah, it's doing okay. I got to check for the hydration to make sure, or not the hydration, the irrigation. Make sure it's getting everything. Now this rose needs to be deadheaded. There's a lot I need to do. A lot of things are getting a little bit singed in the heat. But look at these cat's pajamas. Nepeta, it was flopping and I needed to prop it up for a little bit, so I put the brick, but look at the bee on it. Happy, happy, happy. There's a white wands Veronica. It's doing good. I haven't had any problem with mildew yet. I have another one down here that is struggling. I know it just needs water, so whatever's going on there, I need to dig that up and put it in a different place. That's how things work. You'll find that it doesn't work one place, move to another. This is that beautiful sage, salvia that was fuchsia. I need to deadhead it so it will rebloom. I have one down in another place of a garden that I take care of, and it's reblooming. So I need to do that, give it a chance to rebloom. These black-eyed Susans were volunteer. I was going to stick with only the purples, pinks, whites in here, and I didn't have the heart to take them out. They just were so pretty. As they fade, before they go to seed, I probably will just cut them back and take them out. Enjoy them for now, and then fill in with more purple and pink flowers and white. I might put in more daisies in here, like down here, and they'll have a pop of yellow in them. It's not quite so much yellow. But now, I don't dislike yellow. It's just that the pinks, the cool colors through here is just what I was aiming for, just for like a garden room. And now, look down here. Now look at those nepetas. Those two are doing great too. Yeah, see, there's a black-eyed Susan coming right there, and I need to get it up. So right here is the Corsican mint. Can you see those microscopic little purple flowers in there? I'm going to dig a piece of this up and put it in a dish. I saw someone had a dish garden of it, and it was gorgeous. So I thought, I'm going to do that. This rose is coming along. I've got irrigation to that, and I have the roses to put in it, so I just got to do that. I really didn't want to do them right away. It's supposed to cool down slightly next week, so I'll do it next week. So this week was supposed to be the hottest for right now. So this snapdragon is still doing so good. This has been blooming since spring. So snapdragons, more of them, are definitely on my list. And look at these. Like I showed you these many times before, but they always fascinate me. The weirdy little petal shaped. Now I cut back the Patricia hardy geranium, and I don't know. I think last time I said I was thinking of moving it back there, and I think I will. There's just an empty raised bed back there, and I need to get it out and just move this. And I have the Orion as well in the secret garden, and it is too big for the space it's in. So I just noticed a delphinium that is leaning over. I need to tie that up. And look at that clematis. That's the same one. It's down to my left, and we'll see it in a minute. And it's going to climb up that arbor, or that trellis with this rose. I should say these roses. I have two. I have Carefree Wonder and Zephyrine Druin on here. So I need to do some more deadheading. These were just in full bloom, and just this heat really sent them over. So once I deadhead them, they will rebloom. Back in there's my another tiny monster hardy geranium. I just let them fill in areas back, like in that back area. It's hard for me to get back there and weed, and so it just fills in, and there are no weeds. So, yep, pretty, pretty. So over here, you see, even this one's coming to this arbor. Love the dwarf yarrow. I like that it stays shorter, unlike the other tall ones that I've staked. Now I just saw, yeah, here's some in the pathway. I do not know if that is the dwarf or not. I will dig it up, pot it up, and see. I do not remember putting, I think this is Russian sage, but I don't remember putting it there. Okay, now we're coming down here to where this Warsaw Nike is climbing. I've already been deadheading it. It's past its huge bloom, but it still puts on blooms. It cracks me up because look at how dark this one is. That's a different color than this one. Now I'm beginning to wonder if that is a different one, because I know I had one called Bourbon in here, and I don't see it anywhere, but it didn't usually get that tall. So I'll have to trace that back. I've got a new method that I'm going to try for propagating clematis, and I'm excited to give it a try, and I'll let you know how it goes. But yeah, down here, oh, this is kind of a weedy mess. I need to thin out some of these, and these I was wanting them to go to seed, and they're drying up, so the seed pods are developing. This was the blue that was so pretty. The blue Aquilegia. Somebody called them Granny's bonnets too. I just moved this here, and I thought the birds would get a kick out of it. And it's in an area I can fill it easily in front of my bench. I could put it on a pedestal so that it gets just a little elegance added to it. So over here, I ended up taking out that lamium, and I put it in a hardy geranium, but I don't think it took. But I put in some of the dwarf yarrow. And this is Blue Star Creeper. I may spread it, put more over here, and help it to spread, keep it watered. Look at this rose. This is why I want another sunblaze. This keeps on blooming no matter what. And unlike other short-growing roses, it doesn't flop. It stays upright. So the one I'm looking for is called Dragon Fruit. And yeah. So all so pretty. The Dianthus, Sweet Williams, my Wayne Roderick Origeron. I do want more of that. Precious weed, you know, we embrace all kinds here. So the foxgloves, I haven't taken them down because they are going to seed. I see some of the bottom seeds are dried, so I'll spread those and then I can take them out. And a vine, this is from my Albertina. It needs to be strapped up to the arbor. And this is my Eden rose. It's supposed to be pretty in pink Eden, and it's throwing up some big old canes. Look at this clematis. This is my first time growing Charlie Brown, and I'm loving it. So far, it looks good. I just put it in last year, so it's doing great for the first year. Impressive. Now down here, I'm thinking this is my fairy rose. For the longest time, I couldn't remember, and I remember getting a fairy rose, and I think that's it. And here's the Eden bloom. That one's toppling over. And this is Baby Blanket. This is a real pretty ground cover rose. Yeah, more daisies. See, these things are probably 4 feet tall. My Jubilee Celebration, looking a little faded. But, you know, once I give it a deadhead, it will all bloom again. It'll love it when it cools down a little bit more. Look at that bumblebee. Just enjoying himself. Then I have another honeybee over here. Yeah, this is a very bee-friendly garden. This is Bushy Boy Veronica, and I am really loving it. I got this at Annie's Annuals. And look at that color. Beautiful. Bees are loving it, so they're happy. So yeah, I would like another or more of this to put in. And since it does so well, I'm sure I love low maintenance plants. This is a low maintenance plant. I love Song Rose. Some more Monarda, the red Monarda here. I tied up that yarrow that was flopping. And here is Quicksilver. This Quicksilver has been impressive, I have to say. And look, it has all those on it. This is an Arbor Rose by Cortez. Got it at Heirloom Roses. Oh, look at, no, I didn't. This is the one I picked up at Green Acres, that's right. It's got a cucumber beetle on it. Bad beetle. But yeah, I love that thing. And this is my Apple Blossom. This is Apple Blossom Carpet Rose. I think it's Carpet Rose. I'll look it up. Either that or Drift. One of those two. I'm thinking it's Carpet Rose. And the beautiful phlox behind it. I do have these. This one over here is also, I think, a phlox or an aster. I think that's the phlox. I have one that's a tall lavender that a friend gave me. It's an heirloom variety. Yeah, here, let me see. Are these dried up yet? Yeah, they're starting to crack a little bit. So pretty soon I can cut those back and they'll no longer be in the way. I do have several boxwoods. You can't really see a lot of them because they're very tiny. I started them from cuttings. I have a blog post and a video on starting boxwoods from cuttings. I'm a very patient gardener. Somebody's car alarm is going off. And that's an inexpensive way to expand your garden. And you know what? It's just fun to do it that way too. I know there is merit in instant gratification of just having a plant and plop it in and have instant color. But I actually love the slow gardening and all of the fun with that. So did I give a view? I didn't give a view of back there up. I like to take that view as well. So with this heat wave, the garden is doing relatively well. Things like the nepid and whatever, they're coming through it like a champ. They do need to be deadheaded. Let me turn around. See, this is the yellow verbascum. During the heat, the flowers close up. I didn't know that until I grew them. Okay, let's stand back here in the shade of Primrose Cottage. And can you see up there? On here, it's very dark, but I'm sure you could see it. Second week of July, and all is good. We're doing really well in the garden. And this foxglove too, I'm letting go to seed, is a very beautiful magenta color. So everything's coming together as planned. And even the more roses. Now down here is where I wanted the Super Dorothy rose. Now this one was supposed to be Super Dorothy. Let me get up, or I'm not casting. And it isn't. So it is cute in its own right, but I don't know if it's even a climber because it's not behaving like one. So I may put Super Dorothy in here as well, right in here somewhere, and then let it climb up the arbor, and that could just be at the base if it's not a climber. If it is a climber, they can climb together. It won't hurt them one bit. So, all right. I think that's it, friends. Oh, that breeze is lovely, even though it's still 90-something degrees out here, almost 100. But that's the beauty of the mountains. Sometimes you can catch a cool breeze. When I lived in the valley, I lived out towards Linden, and you get the delta breeze, and it would make the hot summer more tolerable. But it's a beautiful day, and I hope you're enjoying your garden, even if you're enduring a heat wave. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you for going along on this tour with me. So much is going on. I have more roses to put in. Yeah, it's cooled down this week. We were in the hundreds or near 100 last week every day, and it was just so hot. I didn't really want to put them out in the garden, though if you keep them hydrated, they'll do okay. But this week we are down into the low 90s. Perfect. And I will get them in, and I probably will share some of them. I do have one that I've put in front of the greenhouse. It's going to be beautiful there, and all of that I'll share. And I share a flower festival video with you that I went to, lots of dahlias. And I'm going to have one that's the roses, all my roses that I have here at Flower Patch. So I think all of that's coming up. So I will see you in my next video. Bye.